Hey there, a hurricane just blew through, so I think I'm going to take the Corvette to Vengeance Racing for a new tune. The good news is that Vengeance Racing is only 20-25 minutes from my house. The bad news is Hurricane Zeta, which I think was in tropical storm form, came through last night, early this morning, and put down a whole bunch of trees. So I'm currently at an intersection where the stoplights appear to be out. So I left a little bit early to try to account for hurricane related issues. Hopefully I left early enough. Those of you who've been following the channel are probably saying, hey, aren't you selling that Corvette? And the answer is yes, I am selling it. And you might then be saying, well, why are you gonna go spend 600 bucks on a new tune? And the answer is, I think it's the right thing to do. I think it'll help me to sell the car faster and for the price that I'm looking for it. And I'm also really curious about what's gonna happen with the tune. The backstory is that when I got the car, it had some issues. But the problem was my idle behavior was really wonky. The car really doesn't like to maneuver around at parking lot speeds, and if you blip the throttle from idle and then let it go, the needle will drop down to like 500 RPM or lower. Sometimes it'll even stall. But you know, at higher RPMs, the car feels great. It feels at least as good as it did when I bought it. So I basically talked myself out of getting a tune, even though I knew it was probably a good idea to do it. And, you know, meanwhile, the car is for sale, and I just felt really bad the more I thought about it of potentially dumping a problem in somebody's lap. I really don't think that there's a problem. But even so, I would just like the peace of mind of knowing for sure, and that'll allow me to kind of, you know, sell the car more confidently. Not to mention, I'm just really curious about what it's going to do, and by doing a new dyno tune, you know, I have the previous owner's word on what it did prior, but I don't have the dyno sheet. So doing a new tune is going to get me that dyno sheet, and I can say exactly what the car does. Alright, we're about to arrive at Vengeance Racing, and if you're not familiar with them, they are well known in the Corvette tuning space and other LS stuff, and I believe they've got quite a few records to their name on some of their builds. So definitely going to be in good hands here. So I'm waiting for Vengeance to open back up after lunch, and I'm just out here in the parking lot looking at stuff, and I've only seen one C8 in my life, a red one, and it looked like it was stock. This one does not appear to be stock. Got Nitto NTO 1s, 315s. Look what's going on down here. Custom exhaust stuff. I don't know if this has a turbo kit on it or not. Man, good looking car. Yeah, the first like really fast car that I ever rode in was a ZR1 that my dad's neighbor had. It was phenomenal, and this one is in my favorite color. It's got Kong Performance supercharger, got the giant carbon ceramics, which I believe are standard. I noticed that even the rears are like twice as big as the brakes on my fronts. Crazy, but not a lot more tire than I've got. Such a cool car. I love these things. Mike, who is the tuning guru at Vengeance, is looking at this car. Mike, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how bad is the tune that's on it right now?
I really don't know. I'm gonna get a log here in a second. The computer's gonna tell me everything we need to know. I mean, it runs, so it's not that bad.
Okay.
Well, we'll see real quick how much the computer's correcting, how hard the computer's having to work. But it's hard to say. I mean, when you get cars that have had multiple owners, you're gonna get multiple stories, and
sure,
it's best just to go through it like you never saw it, never heard of it before. You made changes. The guy before you could have made changes.
Right.
I mean, he could have 4 or 5 different new things on it, or just like you said, moving a vacuum line or EGR hose or whatever. That stuff all plays apart, you know, a small part, but a part. It's showing that it's pretty rich. That's about, well, I mean, the stroke's going to be right, but it's like 15% off. See, 15, 16.
Okay.
So your first bank's 14, your other bank's 15, 16, 18. That's a fair amount of fuel.
15% too rich?
Yeah, so it's pulling 15%, so it can maintain whatever the stroke value is. So it's 14.68. So definitely not a stock clutch. Let's check the most important feature of the car, which would be the AC system. It's on a 90-degree day in November, October. The car bleeds down well. It's about 1.5 grams off on air. I made a calculated guess because of what he told me the car was doing, but more than likely that was from the rerouting of the hoses. That's my guess, at least. No vacuum leaks. Map's close in the middle, but it's a little bit off on the bottom, so we'll clean that up here in a minute. So I try and steady state a few different gears just to kind of move the RPMs around and make sure we hit everything in the map. He road courses the car, so we'll probably run it a tad richer than we would a street car and probably knock a few degrees out of it, especially if he's going to go beat on it on a road course. It's a pretty nice car. AC blows cold.
Theoretically, the final tune's being put on, and he's just going to do one more run with it, see what she does. For a stock exhaust, that thing is loud.
That's a road race tune, I think. It's not like a on field.
Perfect. Sounds good to me. What was the torque?
378.
home from Vengeance, some takeaways, the things that were really important to me. Number one, is the car hurting in some way? Does it have like a vacuum leak or some other problem that is explaining the bad idle behavior? No, and that's the best news. Number two, did the new tune fix the idle issues? Absolutely, it did. A new owner will have much less trouble getting used to the car. Next, do I know what power this car makes? Yes! We are making, I believe he said 422 to the tire horsepower and like 378 torque. Great. He specifically went a little conservative on the tune because I told him that the car is tracked and you know, it could have easily gotten 15 more horsepower if he pushed it. Why push it? There's no point. So that's great. And then finally, any idea what kind of cam is in it? Yes, kind of. The intake duration, he said, is kind of the key stat when you're thinking about cams for these cars. How much air are you trying to cram in? So he said that we are at between a 232 and a 238 in terms of intake duration. So literally my only regret is that I didn't go in there and spend the money sooner. But you know, that's life, and it's a lesson that I'm gonna learn and carry forward to my next project and future projects. If there's something that's outside of your wheelhouse, if you don't know how to tune a car and you're not gonna learn how to tune it, but you think that it needs a tune, take it to a tuner. Just bite the bullet and do it. It's a great day overall, and I'm happy. And there are a couple of guys who are aware that I'm doing this today, and they're kind of interested in what the outcome will be. So I'm excited to go home and let them know the verdict. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. You know, it's been so much fun making these videos and jumping from car to car and topic to topic. I feel like I'm getting better at it. I definitely intend to keep working and not give up until I'm confident in my skill set. I want to thank the dozens of you who have been along for the ride so far. I'm glad you're here. You know, I want to make videos that are interesting and informative and entertaining for you. I've got a lot to learn when it comes to this hobby, and as I learn, I want it to be an opportunity for you guys to teach me, but for you to learn as well. So hopefully we're accomplishing that. Please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.